methylation looked like it was standing out to me as an issue. The reason why is because her zinc was low on the lower end. This is also going to have implications for stomach acid and her hormones too. Her B12 was low. It's a really important nutrient for methylation.
Kiara,
Actually,
can
I
you just
should,
explain for those
yeah,
who don't understand what methylation is?
just realized. So it's basically like a really big detoxifying process. Like it's gets applied to so many things from hormones to toxins to your neurotransmitters, plays a role in your genes and the expression of that too. So it's one of those big levers that if it's not functioning as well as it could, it can cause a lot of issues. Like it's kind of broad, but also not. It's pretty easy to identify from my perspective.
Guys,
So
it's this fundamental system. You'll hear the term a lot. Methylation is this fundamental system that underlies the expression of our own genes. And if there are certain nutrients that are deficient, which there are many of them, then the ability for these genes to express, and what could these genes express? Like everything from regulating hormones, which then influences the perception of like pain and stress and de-stress, to how you synthesize vitamins and minerals, which then has downstream implications. So when you hear this term methylation, you have to think you're talking about a very complex but also very pivotal component of biology.
yeah. And when we're looking at estrogen dominance, optimizing methylation is going to be really important here. So I just wrote on the side here the bigger nutrients that we need for methylation to work properly. Now in her blood work, we have the zinc low, B12 on the lower end. Folate is pretty like on the lower end as well, nothing crazy, but it's just like right on the cusp. We can also confirm this because homocysteine was on the higher end too, and then MCV was on the higher end. So when we're looking at this pattern here with the nutrients, we can probably make a reasonable conclusion that, okay, this is a system that we need to support. So that's the first pattern. The second is bile and estrogen kind of come hand in hand here. So bile is really important. It's made in the liver, squeezed out by the gallbladder to help emulsify, break down, absorb our fats. It's also antimicrobial, so it's protective against things like SIBO and yeast overgrowths as well. And it's really important to have nice, smooth running bile to be able to excrete our hormones too. So what I noticed here was bilirubin was on the higher end. We covered this in one of our master classes too. When we see bilirubin high and there were antibiotics given for SIBO, then it came right back down. So why I asked if she had any gut issues is because we want to investigate if SIBO is could be like one of the underlying mechanisms here for her health issues. Bilirubin and estrogen also go through the same pathway. It's called glucuronidation to it's one of our like detoxifying pathways in the liver. So if that's all backed up, then the estrogen is going to be more of a problem too. We also see the lower HDL, higher LDL, triglycerides.
Sage,
This sort of
can you send me these bloods, Sage, on my WhatsApp, please? Or go on.
this ties into like insulin was a bit high too. So this ties into a metabolic picture here. What was else? Yeah. So with the insulin being like around 11, it's not like the worst, but it could be a reason why she's struggling to lose weight. And then vitamin D could be a bit better. That's going to really tie into the immune system, methylation as well in an indirect way. Endo too. So those were the main things that I saw there. Because I went through this quite fast, if you need to correct me, Alexander, on anything, just feel free.
Of course, doing great, doing awesome.
So that's that. But do you want me to go into like some things we can do for it?
Let's get into that for a second. Guys, I know we're covering some terms that you guys might not know. It's okay. You will learn. It's going to happen. Any just questions or follow-ups right now in this moment in time? Thanks for using the emojis, by the way. I love them. Just real quick. So endometriosis presentation on Marina. What was the other problems?
So bloating, loose stools, a bit of stomach pain, bloating after fatty foods and feeling heavy, and really low libido.
What's the top, like, number 1, 2 things that if you helped her fix, she would love you for?
I think libido at the moment and
Really
losing weight. Yeah, libido is causing a really big issue in her relationship.
Right.
So that and losing weight is her number 1 goal. But yeah, I think digestive issues is probably up there as well.
That question, by the way, guys, is a question I recommend you ask all your clients, because I do not expect the answer for libido. Now, if you know a client saying to you libido, weight loss is important, endo is important, all these other things are really important, but they take months' time. If we can get an early win and get her libido up, that would be awesome. In that case, I have to have a deeper conversation with the client to try and parse out, is this a physiological thing or a psychological thing, or what combination? Because libido can be very psychological and emotional as well. Okay, so you have to understand that you could be pushing up against physiology, but really they're just not attracted to their partner, or they become very disconnected from their body, or something else. So let me come back to you on some libido potential solutions that can just help you acutely for that, and then I'll let Kiara get into some practical things to go with the underlying root mechanisms going on.
Okay, so for methylation, we want to look at our B vitamins. You can do this through nutrition, liver, nutritional yeast. I think those are like the most bang for buck ones, or you can just do a B complex. Because her stomach and gut is like not the best, we might go for a liposomal B12.
Yeah, I would. I'd definitely. Guys, liposomal is a spray, bypasses the digestion from the stomach. When you think, hey, these supplements aren't working, what's the problem here? You can commonly think it's either the type, the form, the dosage, or the mechanism, the delivery method, aka capsules that are broken down via stomach acid, or a liposomal delivery, which is a spray typically under the tongue, which bypasses that digestion, which typically is more bioavailable and absorbable. So I opt for that when I can.
We can also do creatine, optional, but I think a lot of people should be taking creatine to help with methylation and a million other things. So the dose in a B complex of B12 might not be enough given the absorption issues. So we could probably go both. Or you could do improved, because the folate wasn't too low, you could do folate through food. It could be like cooked leafy greens or chicken liver. And then you could just do the liposomal B12 if you want to keep things really minimal. We also definitely want magnesium in there. Does a million things. Probably go for a glycinate, or that's usually what I go for, yeah. We want zinc to come up more. We can do that through supplements, as like a zinc L-carnosine or an oyster repletion. Probably a supplement in this case.
Zinc is that low, guys, so it's an 11. Optimal is going to be somewhere between, and this is in your blood work module, it's going to be somewhere between like 17 to 21. Okay, zinc, think immune system, it helps make neutrophils and white blood cells. Think libido, sexual function as well. We want to get that up to like nearly double. The amount of oysters you would have to consume is insane. Eat oysters. It's not going to be enough to get someone out of the depths of this type of deficiency, particularly in the presence of a gut issue. So therefore, yes, probably a zinc L-carnosine would be intelligent.
Is the dosage around 30 milligrams off the top of my head?
To replete all the way from 11, you will probably want more. Upper limit's going to be around 40 milligrams. However, we can use higher 40 to 80 split dosages for the first, let's say, 8 to 12 weeks. Then retest around that, make an adjustment, probably bringing that down by about half if you're seeing it move up meaningfully. Basically, just resend the bloods, and I'll tell you where to go and how I think about it. But in the beginning of getting someone out of deficiency, if it is safe to do so, you can afford to go above the upper limit for a temporary period of time. 30 milligrams will take some time. 60 to 80, you'll get there a lot faster.
Okay, cool. To work on the bile issue.
Do we have our copper? Because
no, I don't think copper was tested.
Okay. So guys, what does zinc do to copper? It chelates it. It reduces it. Too much zinc, you drop copper. You need to understand the interactions of nutrients. You'll learn them. Fatigue, anemia, like copper is important for red blood cell production. Even if you start noticing you get gray hairs, it could be a copper deficiency. It's not just genetics. Tingling, weakness, anxiety. You start to see symptoms pop up after a lot of zinc, you might be dropping copper too much.
Cool. We love our minerals. Anyways, for bile. Because she's getting loose stools and nausea after fatty foods, I'm assuming, or after eating. We can probably drop the fats a bit to help with the symptom management. Eggs are going to be really good for the choline. Bitters, this is so simple and easy food intervention for optimizing bile flow is having like a small bitter salad. The vinegar as well will help with the insulin resistance in a way. Something like rocket or radish or artichoke, having a little bit before the meal will help to squeeze bile out to help with the fat digestion. And then if we want to look at supplements, taurine is like a star for this, but also a lot of other things too. Maybe a TUDCA if it's more severe, but question mark on that one. What do you think, Alexander?
Hold on, I was just writing a response to Christian. I didn't actually hear that. We're talking bile, taurine, TUDCA, bitters.
Yeah, I think I go with taurine more because it's a less harsh version, and then I'm not sure if TUDCA would be appropriate here.
I would start with the bitters, reduction in fats and taurine first before a more heavier hand, unless, for example, like her liver enzymes or she was dealing with some that were like really high, or there was some other type of potential like liver condition, like EGFR was really high. I don't think we saw that.
No, they were all okay. So yeah.
I'll just start simpler.
Okay. So those are some things we can do to help that along a bit more. Now, with like the cholesterol panel, the metabolic picture, we can look at black seed oil. That's a really nice one.
Love.
Omega-3.
Black seed is S tier. We've used it for thousands of years. It was found in the tomb of Tutankhamun, actually. Fun fact. In the 30 days, 30 protocols, I've put that in there as an S tier supplement. Diabetes, liver problems, skin issues, sleep. Very safe, very effective. Abshifa is the recommended brand. Get a 5% thymoquinone. It's the active compound within black seed oil. Thymoquinone. The thing actually having the therapeutic benefit. Probably recommend you all take it without knowing all of your health conditions and health issues. That's all.
Yeah. So omega-3, Alexander loves the Bioceuticals brand for its rigorous testing. There is another one called Omega Blood Sugar that has chromium and ALA in it. I believe it is tested really well too. We need to double check that though. So if in doubt, go for Bioceuticals.
And you guys can all order practitioner grade supplements through me. I put a link in the top of Zion where you can get another brand called Metagenics. Metagenics, just remember that brand, really nice practitioner grade brand. We have some omega-3s from them. Also remember to store your omega-3s in the fridge because they have high rancidity risk. They're more sensitive to temperature regulation, so keep them in the fridge.
Inositol is another really good one. It does so many things as well. It's great for metabolic issues, hormones, sleep, anxiety, does a lot. So we could look at that as well. Her vitamin D could be optimized a bit more. It's not terrible. So either like get out in the sun like her life depends on it or supplement that. From a lifestyle perspective, we go walks after meals, circadian hygiene. So like morning light, being out in the sun, sunset, darkness at night. It's also going to help with producing melatonin on your own, which is a really powerful antioxidant. It's so good for your mitochondria. We can also do vinegar, probably not in a shot before the meals, but like more integrated into the meal like a salad. Make sure her macros are good. So, the protein, fats, carbs, they're not like way crazy. Like her fats are at like 150 grams a day or something. Just do like a really good audit of her diet. See what nutrients are missing from the diet. The nutrition tracker is really good for this. Or if you don't have that, then Chronometer is good. If there's a nutrient that's like consistently super, super low, we want to try add in foods that are going to be bumping that up through the diet. This is just generally a way we can minimize excess supplements too. Like we always want to try go food first unless there's like a pretty clear deficiency. So if we can like start with this for the metabolic and the insulin picture and she gets good results with that, then like that's great. Then we can look at adding in like a bit more heavier stuff. Make sure she's training too, because muscle is really important, building muscle. This is like sort of in the background. We want to try get her to go low tox. It's really important for endo.
Yeah, we got a low tox spreadsheet database in Zion as well for you guys.
Lastly, as well, when you're looking at her diet, we want to go high polyphenols, great for inflammation, endo, basically everything here. Like it's one of those things that are so broad. So like we're going to look at pomegranate like juice. Pomegranate juice for women is that's an S tier food to have in. Berries, ginger, what else? Green tea,
Coffee. Another S tier consistent like staple food, like keep blueberries in like most days. 150 to 200 milligrams has the amount of polyphenols needed to exert some type of therapeutic benefit for anti-tumor, anti-cancer effects. It's going to be in, I have a presentation that's quite known called the Big 7 Foods. I'm putting blueberries or polyphenol group foods like that in there. You guys ask like, what's leverage? Like we talk about leverage today, like what's high leverage for food? Oysters, blueberries, kiwis, pomegranate, ginger, coffee. I used to not drink it at all. You want to think high leverage first. On the supplement list here, what's high leverage? Have a guess, guys. Can we have a quick guess on what do we think if we just had to pick like 3, like even you, Sage, like what's the highest leverage here on this list? Although there's not that many. What's highest leverage here? If you only had to pick 2 or 3.
I'd probably go black seed oil, zinc, and either magnesium or B.
You're thinking along the right lines. Yeah, B12, absolutely. Absolutely. B12 is going to have a overwhelming effect on the most amount of body systems. Creatine's a no-brainer. Magnesium glycinate. The thing about the glycinate, it's good, helps break down, it's inhibitory in its effects on the brain, so it can help regulate glutamate, which is an excitatory compound in the brain that helps bring it down to relax, reduce anxiety. So that's often why we see glycine attached to that in that magnesium. It's quite a nice combination. And then black seed, I'd put there if I had to pick. But hopefully we don't have to pick and we can use many of them.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Yes, sorry, good.
So I watched the endo module the other day with, I can't remember her name.
Nat Kugrutus?
Yes.
Yep.
And she had that stack, the supplement stack with the Pain X, Gynoclea, and Glutagenics. Would you also include those ones?
Does she have her symptoms are manageable right now though, aren't they?
Yeah, so she doesn't bleed at all really. She gets a little bit of pain, but it's not a lot compared to before.
I personally wouldn't add it in unless she is in pain.
Okay. But what about so if it's managing her pain at the moment, like the Mirena, wouldn't the lesions and everything still be there?
When was her surgery? She got it diagnosed in surgery?
Yeah, she had surgery, was it last year? So she's had 2 so far.
Okay.
So she had 1 and then it created a lot of scar tissue. And then she had the next one, and I think they cleared out some of the scar tissue because she was experiencing a lot of pain from the scar tissue. Yeah.
So NAC is one of those supplements that can help to keep lesions at bay or even sort of start to work at them if you're concerned about that.
Yeah.
If she's in pain, I would go for a PEA, a pine bark, curcumin, boswellia. Those are really good anti-inflammatories that work nicely for pain. But to go back to what Alexander was saying before, we need to get the nervous system and the stress under control and get her nice and regulated. It's going to do way more than any of this list that I have here. Everything I'm saying here, it's not discounting the fact that we need to work on the really simple fundamentals. Whatever is missing in her lifestyle and her diet, we go there first.
And to be honest, guys, I know that can be harder. Why are supplements so sexy? Simple. A plus B equals C. One, that's not true in biology. There's so many downstream systems that are affected, but it seems that way. I put zinc in, it goes up. Probably. I put this in, it helps. In an ideal world, we do both at the same time. In a constrained world, which we have, clients will often, the burden you put on them for monetary constraints with supplements and protocols and testing can contribute to them moving from you because they can't afford it. I thought it would cost this, the cost is too high. Coaching psychology though, coaching stress management can be tricky. That's why I encourage you guys to bring your coaching calls to here, and I'll give you the best feedback for your coaching that you'll receive from anywhere else because you don't receive that feedback. And you learn through feedback. So I really encourage you to do the inconvenient thing, which is give the client the extra time, go the extra mile to help them regulate themselves, and put in place some resources for them. Give them some tools that they can use to help their stress. Simone was talking about earlier how she fixed a client's sleep with just like one strategy that was related to stress and regulation. Anything you want to add on that, Kiara?
No. I just like also have my own experience with this too. Like I'm someone that's very on top of my health, taking all the supplements, doing everything. But I notice that when I'm stressed, it's like everything I'm doing is way less effective than if I'm regulated. So it's a clear difference.
On the topic of libido, I know many of you probably would like to improve yours. It's just a common challenge of a lot of men and women. I got something for you. I knew it was saffron. I just wanted to pull up the research and the dosage to remember. I'll share my screen and show you the research on saffron. And then I know we're going over, but I like to give you guys more. Whoever wants to become the best will stay the most. And hopefully you can see my screen. I didn't. Kiara, do you mind just stopping your share, please?
Oh, yeah.
Thank you very much. All right. Saffron. While I speak, Kiara, maybe if you can just put a little like short description on like what saffron is. It's from a plant. The saffron group, so there's two groups, placebo and one that received 15 milligrams twice a day of saffron. The saffron group showed a remarkable 62% improvement from baseline with the particular benefits in desire, lubrication, and remember, ladies, not to nocebo you, but lubrication, not just ladies, men's important to know, lubrication does start to decrease as you get closer to your menopausal age or perimenopausal age. It's somewhat of a normal biological process, but there are things you can do to improve it. Just in case you ever get self-conscious about it, you don't have to because you can improve it. And satisfaction within the female sexual functional index with no reported side effects. Systematic review. Is there anything else? Saffron also improved various health parameters, fasting blood glucose, waist circumference, diastolic blood pressure, and cholesterol, LDL, symptoms of depression, cognition, sexual function when compared to control groups. Common side effects, nausea, dry mouth, poor appetite, headaches. No serious adverse events were reported. So Sage or anybody else who wants to help their clients with libido or themselves, saffron for men and women does seem to help. And then I'll explain one more thing. The share screen guide gone. I have a massive screen in front of me, and you know when you have a big screen or a bunch of screens and you kind of find this one thing and it's just gone? That's what's happening right now. All right, try and zoom me in. All right, in regards to libido and sexual function supplements, cool. Notice So driving arousal, the relationship of arousal and the nervous system is very strong. If you think back in your times, if you don't mind us going there, that the times where you had your strongest libido, where you were the most aroused, it wasn't just a visual stimulus. It was actually predicated beforehand by a change in your state. What was that state? It was a parasympathetic state. It was a calm state. It was a grounded state. See, when you stressed, achieving, doing, taking action, naturally, blood flow not only is diverted to other areas other than your genitals, you're also just very cognitive, very mental, very in your head. Okay, the effects of this are hormonal. The effects of this are very psychological in that you're not thinking, you're just thinking, you're not feeling. And so one way to improve your libido for you and your clients is to help them get into a parasympathetic state. When you are calm, when you're relaxed, that is the optimal state for driving libido, because you get out of your head, get into your body, blood pressure lowers, and it starts to create the environment that not only allows your nervous system to relax, but it allows you to connect emotionally, physically, create intimacy. That's a great biological point, Kiara.
Thanks.
All right. Oh, let's do some Q&A if we have any. Who's here? Georgia Vass. How was that? Any follow-ups? Any thoughts? Questions? Any confusion?
Yeah, that's really helpful. I guess with the endo stuff and the pain and the nervous system, I find I've just got a client at the moment where it's very much stuck in a cycle, because I feel the pain is causing a lot of the negative thought patterns, and it's kind of in a bit of a spiral. So would you recommend, we're doing implementing sleep hygiene and grounding and that sort of stuff, but
Right.
yeah, would you also recommend the supplements in this case?
Yeah. Have you heard of PEA?
Yeah.
Have you tried that with her?
She's just very wary of supplements, there's a lot of resistance going on. So I guess I've been also wary to recommend things because I don't want to overwhelm her. We're doing creatine and magnesium at the moment, and a beef liver supplement. But yeah, I'll add the PEA in.
So this is great. We can have the perfect supplement.
Yeah. Does it stink from that fruit in there or not?
Kirby, you got your mic on, man. It does stink.
Kirby, you got your mic on, man. It does stink. It's sort of just stuck, ain't you?
You can't hear me. I just got to mute his ass. PEA. What's the actual belief that we need to help the client relearn or change around supplements?
There's just a lot of, it's more about money.
Oh, very practical. So you need to pick them really carefully. I'll show you a study on PEA, and I think if you can help give the client evidence, maybe they can help justify their greatest symptom. That can be helped. And I'm going to mute you again, Kirby. And also communicate to the client that, hey, this isn't forever, temporary period of time. If we don't see the results here in this time period, we can just kick it out. You don't have to buy it again. So that can often help. But if you show her something like what I'm about to show you, here you go. Also, it's not just period pain. It's like joint pain as well. Lockie, for your athletes, I would keep PEA in the cupboard. All right. Now, this is menstrual pain. It's not exactly endometriosis condition, but it's very correlated biology going on. PEA significantly reduced acute menstrual pain compared with placebo. A single dose, 300 milligrams, provided approximately 25% greater pain relief than placebo within 2.5 hours. I had one of my, and now the dosage here is actually a bit underdosed. Okay. And I'll let Kiara share because this is a big topic of passion for her. The minimum dosage is going to range from that all the way up to 1,200 milligrams a day. Split dosage, 600. Can go a bit higher, but they just haven't studied as much empirically, meaning coaching in the real world. We do notice still it's okay to go temporarily higher. Danielle has some really bad endometriosis. Well, no, really bad ovulatory and menstrual pain in the past. That was one of the many compounds that we put in with also the help of Kiara. And that really helps her. Had a client recently, 8 out of 10 period pain, went down to about a 3 within a few hours of putting in PEA. She was like, oh my God, it's crazy. Put that in on not just day one. I like to put it in prophylactically the day before. Instead of reacting, I get a bit ahead of it.